If you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder and you've been seeing headlines about marriage green cards being denied, this moment probably hit hard. Maybe you already filed. Maybe you're about to. Maybe you're wondering if everything you've built is suddenly at risk. Pause. Marriage green cards still exist. The law hasn't vanished. What's changed is enforcement, and that change is hitting real families first. This is Bloodlines. We document how immigration systems operate in practice, not in theory. We separate rumor from reality so people don't get blindsided. Here's what's actually happening. The law didn't change. Scrutiny did. Marriage remains a valid pathway to permanent residence in the United States. What has changed is how aggressively applications are examined. Immigration officers are no longer giving marriages the benefit of the doubt. They are asking one central question, over and over. Was this marriage built to share a life or to secure status? That question decides everything. What USCIS expects now. When a spouse is sponsored, the government doesn't just want a marriage certificate. They want proof of a shared life. That means evidence of joint finances, shared housing, daily routines, long-term planning, community recognition. Photos alone aren't enough. A ring isn't enough. A wedding isn't enough. USCIS wants to see continuity before, during, and after the application. The interview is the pressure point. Most denials don't happen on paper. They happen face-to-face. Officers are now asking detailed questions about who wakes up first, who pays which bills, what was eaten that morning, where clothes are stored, who handles emergencies. They're listening for hesitation. They're watching for contradictions. One answer doesn't sink a case. Patterns do. Living apart raises immediate suspicion. This matters more than people realize. If you and your spouse do not live together, USCIS assumes explanation is required. Temporary separation can be legitimate. Work assignments, family caregiving, financial necessity. But without documentation, separation reads as distance, not circumstance. If you live apart, you must show how the relationship continues anyway. Calls, visits, financial ties, shared decisions. Evidence, not promises. Fast marriages get examined closely. Timing matters. Marriages that happen quickly, especially after a recent entry to the US, are examined for intent. Fast does not mean fake, but fast requires context. You need to show how the relationship formed, developed, and stabilized. Without that story, officers fill in the gaps themselves. Conditional green cards are a second test. If a green card is issued before 2 years of marriage, it's conditional. 2 years later, USCIS checks again. They want proof that the marriage didn't dissolve once status was granted. More I-751 petitions are being denied now than in previous years. Weak evidence, early separation, or inconsistent timelines can push cases into removal proceedings. Who this impacts and who it doesn't. This scrutiny affects pending marriage-based applications, upcoming interviews, conditional residence approaching renewal, cases with gaps or red flags. It does not retroactively target finalized 10-year green cards. No one's status is being randomly revoked. Clearing the noise. Let's be precise. Marriage green cards have not been eliminated. Everyone is not under investigation. Home raids are not standard practice. Nationality alone does not determine outcomes. USCIS focuses resources where inconsistencies exist. What you should do if you're applying. If your marriage is genuine, document everything. Keep records over time. Be consistent and honest. Prepare together for interviews. Address weaknesses directly, not defensively. If your case has complications, living apart, quick marriage, prior immigration history, speak to a qualified attorney before filing. Do not rely on social media reassurance. Do not improvise explanations. A warning about fraud. If a marriage exists primarily for immigration benefits, stop. The penalties are permanent. Bars from the US, criminal exposure, long-term consequences that don't go away. If someone pressured you into an arrangement, seek legal advice before proceeding. Final reality check. Increased scrutiny isn't meant to punish real couples. It's meant to expose fake ones. If your marriage is real, documented, and consistent, approval is still possible. But the margin for sloppiness is gone. This process now demands preparation, honesty, and evidence. If you're watching this because you're scared, that fear makes sense. But panic helps no one. Prepare carefully. Document what matters. Record today, protect tomorrow.